I've always been intrigued with the instructor's thought process. And Lawrence Jones from Strain Counter Strain used to always say, if it's crooked, make it crookeder. And he and John Barnes used to say, observe the obvious and exaggerate the obvious. Do what the obvious is doing. And I can't tell you why, but I had a patient that came in to me, and she was actually there because she wanted to be able to dance at her daughter's wedding. She presented pretty decently, but she had back pain, and I think she had, I can't remember if she had shoulder restriction or some trunk restriction. It may have been both. And within sharing her subjective history, she said, the other thing I've noticed is I can't take steps with my right leg. I always have to lead with my left and follow with my right. And she goes, it's probably been about 3 years that I've done that. And every time she was getting up from sit to stand, she was using her arms on the chair. And I said, and I don't know why that moment, literally when she said about the step, that I can do it with the left, I can't do the right. I said, well, stand up for me. And I said, will you show me that? And what she did is, obviously, she went up just nicely with her left. But she could not go, I mean, she could do nothing. And I remember I was standing over the side, and I go, oh my God, why haven't I realized this before? I go, there's two obvious things happening here. Not just one, there's two. The obvious thing that we as physical therapists have all our lives, pretty much, professional lives, said, well, her right leg doesn't work. What's the other obvious thing?
Left leg does.
Her left leg does. And so it went, big ah went, now wait a second, that's kind of cool. So if I use this philosophy that I've been trained with, and I say to her, and I did, I said, look, I have no clue what's going to happen here. I said, can I try something on you? And she was very willing to, she was very trusting and stuff. She goes, yeah, sure. I said, I have no clue what's going to happen here, but you can't do it on your left. And your body is using your left all the time. So let's just assume your body knows best. And that's the obvious thing that's happening, one of the obvious things that's happening. Why don't let's do something. Let's exaggerate the left side. So I didn't know what that meant, but I said, let's do 2 sets of, I think I made her do 15 or something. 2 sets of she could. So she did as many as she could, and I think she got to 12 or 15. And then we made her do another set. When she got done, she didn't just kind of get up it, she shot right up the step. And that's where this began. It was the first time I saw it, and I was like, oh my goodness. Both our jaws dropped, and I said, that was pretty cool. I said, will you sit back down, because that's where we tested her for her back pain. I said, how much better is that? And I think she had an 8 out of 10 back pain, or 6 out of 10. It was 80% better. She then reassessed her shoulder, and it was better. So in this whole time, we changed, and she also, she got up, like I was just paying attention when she got up, and she didn't use her arms to get up with. So within this 2 sets of 15, that's all we did, she was able to take a step with her right, her back pain decreased 80%, her shoulder motion improved, and she was able to get up from sit to stand. Now, that's enough to make you go, maybe I should take a look at all this stuff. Because I was fortunate enough to get such a wow factor within my first time that it really forced me to completely change my thinking. Or maybe I shouldn't say completely yet, but really start an exploration of, did I just do something that's only, so you said residual, I'm giving that answer to that whole point. Is that just going to last for a minute or two? Is what's going to happen? So at the end of the session, we made sure she still do the right, and I said, I have no clue what's going to happen, but why don't you do that as an exercise? And that's all we gave her, because I didn't want other variables of anything. And she did. She came back, and she really never lost it and stuff. So what I began from that point is exploring every motion left to right. So if somebody couldn't, do this, we went over.